Welcome back for a 27 News Late Day discussion with Kansas Attorney General Chris Kobach. Thanks for taking time to join us.
My pleasure.
Well, I understand that you're getting ready to sue the Biden administration in the coming days. This is going to be over the lesser prairie chickens listed as an endangered species. So exactly when do you think that's going to happen, and then what's the purpose behind it?
It'll be in the next couple of days, and it's not just Kansas, it's Kansas, Oklahoma, and Texas. And the Biden administration's Fish and Wildlife Service has listed it as a threatened or endangered species, depending on the zone. And it's really not about the prairie chicken the way we see it, because the population numbers have been going like this up and down for the last 20 years. And it's on a down cycle right now because of the drought. No other reason than that. As soon as the rains came back after the 2012 drought, the numbers almost doubled. But anyway, the effect of this listing would be to basically prohibit any new oil wells in western Kansas, and even worse, all people who ranch cattle, who have pastures and have cattle grazing, they would have to get approval from a federally designated agency to graze their cattle. And they wouldn't be able to, if they wanted to change where they're going to graze the cattle, they'd have to get Mother May I special permission from the government to do that. It's a huge imposition on the property rights of Kansas ranchers. So, we think that this is more an attack on oil and an attack on beef production, which has become politically incorrect these days in Washington, than it is a real effort to affect the population of the prairie chicken.
All right, let me get your take on this now. Former President Donald Trump, he pled not guilty, 34 felony charges of falsifying business records. As an attorney, I want to get your take now on the professional relationship with the former president, too.
Well, I would just say on the charges, the charges specify, the charging document specifies a misdemeanor, which is a business records misdemeanor, and doesn't specify the other misdemeanor, which they're supposed to add together to create this felony. I think it's really flimsy, and I'd be surprised if this thing ever gets to a jury. I think it's going to hopefully, probably be dismissed on a motion to dismiss or some other preliminary motion. So I think the president's probably got the edge in this case. But I think it's kind of sad for the country, though. This groundbreaking first ever indictment of a president is over a very flimsy misdemeanor like that, which will probably collapse on scrutiny. If you're going to do this, you ought to have something really airtight and really serious to take this kind of action against a former president.
Do you see it slowing down his run for president in 2024 at all?
I don't think so. I mean, we've already seen it's improved his chances in the Republican primary, and I don't think it changes anything in the general, because attitudes about former President Trump are pretty solid. People either really like him or they really don't like him. So I don't think it changes much.
Okay, we've got about 20 or 30 seconds left, but right before coming on the show, you released a statement about Fairness in Women's Sports Act, and Governor Kelly, she vetoed, and then lawmakers overrode that. So how important is this situation to you personally?
This is very important to me. I'm the father of 5 girls, and all of my girls participate in sports. And this is about protecting girls' sports and keeping it fair so that biological males don't come in and steal all the trophies, steal all the scholarships. And it's all, anybody, I think any reasonable person would say, this is girls' sports, only girls can compete. If you have the advantages of being born a male, you either compete in boys' sports or you compete in something else, but don't make girls' sports unfair. And if this comes to defending it in court, I'm very confident that we will be able to defend this law against any challenge.
All right. Kansas Attorney General Chris Kobach, thank you again.
My pleasure.